can think of two ways offhand. I do a meditation type prayer. That's my first type. So I either do a 3-3-5 or a 4-4-6, which I'll explain here in a second. But that kind of meditation really, it brings me close to God. It calms me down and it settles me. So for like a 3-3-6, so what I do is for 3 minutes I read a section of prayer or I read a section of scripture. My favorite is in Matthew, the parable of do not worry, and God just telling us like we are worthy and God, He has everything for us. So why do we have to worry? So I read that for 3 minutes. The next 3 minutes I spend just praying to God, not necessarily about anything, just talking to God, having that communication with God. And then the next 6 minutes I'm still and I'm listening to God. I'm asking God to speak to me. Sometimes I'll journal a couple questions that I kind of just listening to God to see what He says. And a lot of times that happens. I can think of times where I'm, writing these questions down and I'm almost having a dialogue with God with like, I'm going to ask a question and then all of a sudden just it pops in my hand, this answer, and then I ask another question and then almost this dialogue. That's my favorite way to calm myself down. Another way is I just go out into nature. I just observe the beauty, the glory that God has created through everything. And I find a stump actually. So I lived in Toledo, Ohio for a little while. And there they had this huge river that went right through the heart of Toledo. And you can find certain spots where the river kind of dries up a little bit, like a little estuaries on that. And so I would find a stump in the middle of the river and I would just sit there and listen. And it was out in nowhere. People may be driving by, but I can just listen to nature and listen to the wind and the trees and just God's creation calling back out to Him and just realizing how great our God is. Those are my two ways that I like to pray.